And welcome to Advanced Shouting alongside. Where's Dan?
Where is Dan? What happened to Dan?
I don't know, but we got Michael Barton here. I'm Noel Fogelman.
That's all we need.
Yeah, that's all. Dan's game time. I guess the showtime decision. Might show up, might not.
Well, definitely an upper body injury.
Oh yeah, I have one of those too right here. Yeah,
that's not an injury. That's sort of it's a style choice.
Yeah, I wish it was style. This is style or a lack of, I guess.
Like I'm wearing a CCM, you're still wearing a Jofa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But everyone, subscribe to the channel, like the page. Thanks everyone for joining us. We got a game 6 tonight.
Yes, we do. Let's go.
The chagrin of pretty much everyone except the Islanders, because I don't think anyone wants to see the Islanders, those pesky, boring Islanders, advance any further than they already have. But they had a tremendous. People can say it was boring. I say it was exciting. Game 5 double overtime win thanks to Jordan Eberle, who finally got going. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully he'll get, that this will kind of springboard him into, because he's such a streaky goal scorer. He's been, throughout his whole career, especially in Edmonton. So nice to see he's doing something in the playoffs in Edmonton. But yeah, that was a really, great game. Topped off with Semyon Varlamov's slide into the celebration pile, which was great. They're already having shirts and all the great memes. But so we have game 6 tonight.
But wait, by the way, who would say that was a boring game?
I've seen a lot of the national media, Toronto, which wouldn't be national, I guess, international media, let's just say.
Right.
Basically, the Islanders are boring. The way they play, it's the Lou Lamoriello system back with the devil.
Yeah, but it's easy to say that from your couch. You're not playing for the Stanley Cup.
Okay.
You're not playing for the Eastern Conference Final. You play the way you need to play. The Islanders have shown that they can handle the head and shoulders above all the rest team in the National Hockey League, and props to them. They're doing what they need to do to win games. And if they win tonight, the pressure's already on Tampa for tonight.
Yeah.
Talk about if they win tonight, Tampa's going, oh my God, not again.
Right. And with Tampa, they've been in this, scenario a couple times.
Yeah.
They can't close out teams.
Yeah.
They've had chances a couple years ago against the Penguins, lost game 6 and 7. They had chances against the Caps, lost game 6, 7. So they've gone there. They haven't been down 3-1. The series was 2-2, and they came back 3-2. But this is a little different. There's no pressure on the Islanders. I wouldn't say it's house money because I hate that expression.
Yeah.
There's no pressure. They're going out there the same way they went out for game 5. Going to have some fun. There's no monkey on their back.
Yeah, I agree. I do think there's pressure in the sense that they've come this close. They're so close to forcing basically a coin flip game. There's got to be a little pressure, but you're right. No one, I think, expected them to. Actually, some people probably predicted they'd make it to the conference final, but it's. And doesn't Trotz have a history with John Cooper? Doesn't he have like a good record against him? I heard something earlier the other day.
They beat him when they went to the Cup.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
So and and Cooper needs this. Getting to this round is one thing, but if you blow a 3-1 lead, chances are you may not be coming back next year.
Well, after being swept by Columbus last year, and it's crazy to say because I love John Cooper. When the Kings were looking for a new coach, he wasn't available, obviously, but that's the guy I want. I love the way he talks to his players. I love the way his pressers go. He's a guy who seems to really, really relate to the players and treat them all different, which is, being an NHL coach, you kind of have to be a psychiatrist in a way. Some guys like to be, yelled at, and some guys need a pat on the back. And I feel like he's kind of a master at that. And he seems like he has a really just brilliant hockey mind.
Right.
Trotz does too, obviously.
And that's wwhy these coaches last, because you got to balance the two. But I don't know if you saw the post game with Cooper after game 5. He was kind of, I wouldn't say a sore loser, but he basically said, everything had to be, the stars had to be aligned for the Islanders to win that game.
Right.
That's really not a fair thing to say. You had a 4-minute power play at 100%. The end of regulation going into overtime. With that offense, I know that power play struggled since game 1. You still have the pieces, you still have the horses. You got to put one past Varlamov.
You have to. You have to.
Right.
So, yeah.
But whatever, I totally understand.
Hey, Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle, thanks for joining us. Hey, Rob, what's up? Oh yeah, let me see your beard. Everyone in my family hates my beard, and yeah, it's quite the thing.
I'm working on mine, Rob, but it's only been like a week, so.
Yeah, I mean, if the Honors continue to win the U.S. Stanley Cup, I'm gonna basically have this as like a ZZ Top.
100%. You can't shave until they lose. You can, or until they raise the cup. No way.
Exactly.
Like your lucky underwear.
Yeah, I might even get some rubber bands like Captain Lou Albano back in the day.
No, please do not do that. That is not a good look. And the wife is really not.
Oh God, yeah, no, she would absolutely hate me. But one thing we're still waiting to hear about is Braden Point, who didn't play in Game 5. He's the game time decision for today. Obviously, the Lightning have not won with him, out of the lineup. So it's a good, thing for the Islanders for him not to be there. I mean, Anthony Cirelli is no slouch. He played really well. Carter Verhaeghe, was a little bit of a pest game 4, which it's kind of funny because he was an Islander prospect.
Right.
And which was the whole story was he got drafted by Toronto and he grabbed him a trade, got traded to the Islanders. He was in Bridgeport for a couple of years. And I used to cover the Sound Tigers, and I spoke to a couple people. I loved him. I thought he was a really natural goal scorer. Other people just didn't have the heart / mentality to play in the NHL. That was a different regime, of course. Now he's playing meaningful games in the conference finals. So, of
course,
yeah.
What surprised me the most about the Islanders during this run is the balanced goal scoring. They have like 7 or 8 guys who have 10 points or more. It's amazing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And Anders Lee, who did not score, but he had a great pass to set up Everly. Game played his best complete game probably in his career.
Yeah, he was
defensively.
Yeah,
he was all over the place. And Trotz is a genius. He switched up the lines. He had Cal Clutterbuck on the first line. I'm sure we'll see a little bit more of that. The same, they played the 7 defensemen. Johnny Boychuk finally got back,
right,
which was great to see. I don't know if they're still going to do that today, because you have these games go to overtime, a couple of overtimes. Short bench, it's kind of hard to to 4 lines.
And Cizikas is out, right?
Yeah, he's out. He left the bubble.
That's a big loss. That's actually a big loss.
Yeah, I mean,
you really are the Islanders seem to be the definition of next man up right now. So
yeah, pretty much.
Hi, Pamela.
And the team who advanced in the Western Conference, Dallas, it's kind of like a mirror image of the Islanders. They can roll 4 lines, although they have more kind of firepower than the Islanders do. But they will be waiting, I guess. And it's gonna be interesting because they could be sitting for over a week if this thing goes 7.
Yeah, it's true. But the Stars are interesting because the Stars are the Stars I've been waiting for the last couple of years with that roster. And you could argue that without the Avalanche injuries, they might not be here, but that doesn't matter. They're here, and they're in the Stanley Cup Finals, so they're going to be a hard out for whoever comes out of the East for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's kind of a magical run. Anton Khudobin's, it's amazing to get.
Is he a UFA next year?
I don't know. If he is, he might get some decent money. But but they have how many more years left of Ben Bishop?
I know exactly.
Which is, it's a shame because that contract is they got him because they always had issues with goalies,
right?
In the past with Kerry Lettinen and I forgot who else they had, but they always had issues. Yeah. So as we'll wait for Dan, we'll see. We're going to talk to Sean Shapiro from.
Has Dan text you? What's going on? Is he?
Let's see if I have one from Dan. Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. So
well, we can tell you guys what. Apparently, there were a bunch of cops outside of his house or apartment or whatever, and he had a hard time. He couldn't leave the house. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I think he was actually going to work.
He was going to what?
He was going to work.
Going to work.
Yeah.
I thought you said war.
Yeah. Exactly. So he was he works in Manhattan at SNY, and they're located at World Trade Center. So I guess they're having protests over there. Right. So his building was under lockdown, so he couldn't get in.
I got you.
So, hopefully he'll either
he'll probably pop up and do it from a Starbucks or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or he should have just tell some of the law enforcement that he's on a third-rate internet sports show. He'll go let him right in.
After you, sir.
Yeah, exactly. But what else has surprised you about the Islanders besides like the balanced scoring and everything like that?
Varlamov, really. I mean, he's a good goalie, but he's been playing at another level throughout the series. And I've said it before. They remind me a lot of the 2012 Kings. It's a cohesive group of guys. They have great chemistry. They've got size. They've got speed. They've got talent. They've got grit. They're decent penalty killers. Power play has been, but it's Tampa's power play hasn't been great either. So, it's just a testament to how much parity there is in the league. Really, I wish I put $100 on the Islanders winning it all before this all started, because they were probably like minus what 4 or 5,000 something. I mean, not minus 4 or 5,000, but yeah, maybe
they could have been. Yeah. A lot of like prognosticators and experts, so to speak, think had them either like missing the playoffs or being like the second wild card. I think USA Today, I think, had them with like 80 points, being like second to last in the Shapiro, which, I mean, come on, that's. But that being said, if everything was normal, they were in a free fall. They were like they won 7 games in a row. They were like 4-3, I think, after the Pajot trade, and they were out of the playoffs. The restart was great. Probably better, for that team than any other team. They got healthy. Adam Pelech got healthy. Got healthy at first. Oh, we got an update from Dan. He says he's in the building. So
Dan is in the building.
He's in the building. So hopefully his bladder can wait, another 40 minutes, and we can get him up here and get him in. But we'll have Shapiro.
I did put $100 on Winnipeg to win it all, because just. There was really no reason for me to do that, but based on that talent, those top, 2-3 line, they have so much firepower, and look what happened to them. They just shriveled and faded away.
Right.
The Islanders are. It's like they're built for this.
Yeah.
It's their time, as Brooks would have said.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. Yep. There you go. Again, and here we go, Dan.
Tonight we skate fast. There he is.
Hey.
How many cops did you have to pay off to get in here?
A couple.
Yeah.
Couple.
At least you're able to sit down.
It's been an interesting afternoon.
Well, the show's been actually the best it's ever been. So
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that. Hold on. Yeah. My lights is all screwed up here. Hold on a second. Let's see. Let's see if that's better. All right, that's better. I can't even see my own face.
Yeah.
Amateur hour here. Okay.
Oh, it's been a complete shit show.
Yeah. So basically we've just been talking about Game 6.
Okay.
And the surprises that we've seen with the Islanders this year.
Have we heard anything about lineups yet?
Nothing yet. We're still waiting to hear what Braden Bourne's going to play. Barry Trotz also said there are a couple questionable moves. Waiting for the lineups for him as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we'll have John Shapiro from The Athletic, who covers the Stars. And also J.D. Forrest, who's a new coach of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. He was there for 4 years as assistant coach. He got promoted, so I'll talk to him about the AHL and how that league is responding, because they ended in March, and there's been nothing since then. And I think they start in December. And speak of the devil, he is here. So let's bring in JD. Hold on. Hey, JD.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. Doing well. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the promotion.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So after 4 years, being the assistant there, covering the defense and penalty kill, well, how much more on your plate are you going to have? Are you ready to kind of take on that challenge?
Yeah, well, a lot more.
Like everything.
Right.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, am I ready for it? I'm as ready as I'll ever be. So I've been around it enough. We've had some good head coaches here that I've been able to watch work. We've been able to see how things are done in Pittsburgh quite a bit. And then the other assistant coaches that I've worked for in the past that I shared office with the last 4 years have also been great. I mean, a couple of those guys are head coaches, or Tim Army's a head coach in Iowa, and then Chris Taylor was just the head coach in Rochester for a few years. So I've been able to work with some really great people to help me prepare.
Now, how difficult has it been? Do you know when your training camp will start yet? And do you have a tentative date on your season? How hard has it been to plan, seeing that you guys haven't played hockey since March?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, there's the hopeful dates that we've heard for a while. I really don't know. It's hard for anybody to say they know for certain right now. So we're just kind of preparing as much as we can, and then whether that happens in November training camp or it's later on, we just have to be ready for the earliest possible date. And if it goes back, it goes back. Then we've got more time to do stuff, more time to, I don't know, bang our heads against the wall trying to figure out the best way to do things. But we're in the same boat as everybody else, so you can't really complain about it.
Now, how much have you been in contact with the players, before you got the promotion and after, just seeing if they're like, what their conditioning is like and such?
Yeah, so there's been some outreach. A lot of guys, of course, when I got hired, I've talked to a bunch of them, but that's kind of what I plan on doing now in the next week, because the past week or so has just been kind of a whirlwind, as far as all the phone calls, people congratulating and getting up to speed on some things that maybe I wasn't, as an assistant coach in the summertime, I wasn't up to date, up to speed on. It didn't have all the information that a head coach might have. So there's been a lot of that. And then, like you guys just mentioned, the kind of the different situation we're in with all this, and trying to wrap the management, trying to letting me know what they're thinking moving forward and how we're going to deal with stuff and players, and just, so it's been a lot, and it's finally kind of calmed down, and I've got I know what I think I need to know, and now I can start getting back to the players again.
The weird new normal.
Yeah, it just, like I said,
what are you gonna do?
Can't
said,
fight it,
and everyone's in the same boat. So
yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, so like the past 6 months, being home, full disclosure, I used to work with your wife Sarah back at ESPN.
Yeah, I know. She told me.
Yeah, tell her I say hi. Now, how interesting has it been, being home with the kids and just kind of being a family man?
Yeah, well, so I mean, like everyone, when it first happened, and you didn't know how long it was going to go, or you're thinking, all right, we'll be back in a week or two or something like that, and the kids are out, all of a sudden the kids aren't going to school, and I'm trying to continue to work as if we're going to have a season, and then all of a sudden you realize, well, this isn't going to happen. And the kids aren't going back to school, and my wife was still working, but she could work from home, and there's only so much I could do from home. So I became a teacher. I was cooking. I did a lot of the stuff that she normally does. She works for U.S. Lacrosse.
Oh,
she's
nice.
a regional manager. So she was dealing with a lot of the youth sports programs and different, just on all different levels, boys, girls, everything. And they're all trying to figure out if they were going to have a season and what to do and how to keep the young kids engaged in a good sport. So she was constantly on the phone, and I was just trying to keep everyone quiet, keep learning some 5th grade math and 4th grade at the time, relearning it, yeah, because I know everything. And then and my son too, trying to keep him just out of my daughter's hair while she's doing her schoolwork. So it was like, holy cow. In that first little bit, it was rainy, and you can't really go outside and open the door and kick them out. So, yeah, it was something.
It's just like coaching, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, just open the door and let them go.
Managing the egos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what's more difficult, dealing with homeschooling 2 children every day, or a locker room full of professional hockey players?
Oh man. You think that would be an easy one to answer, but I don't know. My 2 kids they're great, but they like to challenge us, so it's kind of good. It sets me up to deal with some circumstances at home that I deal with at the rink, and vice versa. So it's cool.
Sure.
You got to be on, yeah. So
yeah,
but both fun.
Yeah, you can bench your players, but you really can't bench your kids.
Well, Timeout's pretty close.
You try.
Timeout is pretty close.
That's pretty close, like
Somewhat.
somewhat.
Really,
The old grocery stick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but your time as assistant coach, you had one player in particular, Jake Ensel, come through the system, and now he's superstar with the Penguins. Did you see his talent there? I mean, because I know he was there for 2 years, I believe. Yeah, 20-goal season, but the talent was there. But do you think he was going to be this productive in the NHL?
I don't know if anybody really thought he was going to go and do what he's done up to this point. I mean, we knew he was a dominant player when he was with us, and I had some guys on the team that have been around the American League a while just say he's the best player I've had on my team since I've been in the American League. And there were some good guys to go through there. So you knew he was going to be good, but with the amount of production he's had and has been impressive, no doubt. I'd be lying if I was like, oh yeah, Jake's going to go up there and get 30, 40, whatever, and be one of the best wingers in the game, really, one of the smartest players. That I wasn't sure of. I just knew he'd be good. So I'm really happy for him. I think he's a hell of a player.
And I'd like to thank you personally for grooming him and turning him to the guy he was that helped me win my fantasy hockey league this year. I had him on my team, and before he got hurt, he just tore it up, and the league froze when COVID hit, and I was in first place. So
there you go.
And he's part of that.
I got to divert some of that credit because that was the first year. So he's a forward, and that was like Chris Taylor was here or in Wilkes-Barre as an assistant coach, and he worked with Jake a lot. I had him on the penalty kill. Well, we had him on everything because why not? And he was great on the penalty kill, but as a forward, he worked with Chris Taylor. I think Chris did a great job with him and getting him prepared to go up and do his thing in the NHL. So I'll let him know that you owe him some money though.
We've seen, both Noel and I have seen Wilkes-Barre just torment the Bridgeport Sound Tigers over about the past 20 years now. And it just seems like the Penguins do a great job organizationally of taking those guys, whether they're from college or mid-round picks, sending them down to Wilkes-Barre, letting them spend some time down there, and then developing them into nice NHL players. It hasn't just been Getzel. It's been many, many players that have gone through there over the years. Do you look forward to that challenge now of continuing that tradition?
Yeah, I think that's probably. I mean, when you look at all the players, like you said, I mean, Jake is an exceptional example. But then you have guys that are everyday NHL players. Maybe they're not 30, 40 goal scorers, but just look at Teddy Bluger, and you got guys that did a great job in Wilkes that went to other organizations like Oscar Sundquist and Josh Archibald. So there's up and down the list. There's guys all over the NHL that have come through here. So it's great to see, and that is a challenge, but it's one that I'm going to take great pride in, and that we've been able to do that here, and that's just part of the job now as a head coach, is to make sure that tradition continues. I could put my own stamp on it, but you look back and it's not like you're coming in someplace and you got to change this and that. It's like there's so many things that are going the right way in Wilkes-Barre, and a lot of it is keeping that train going, putting your own kind of signature on it, but continuing to let that momentum go.
And as a pure fan of the game who really doesn't know anything about the in and outs and the relationship between the A and the NHL, is it, as a coach, assistant coach, head coach, is it sort of like a badge of honor if one of your guys makes it and has a real impact, or is there also a little bit of, oh God, we lost that player? Like,
yeah, right. No, for me, I'm excited to see somebody reach. It's a dream to play in the NHL, and These guys get to do it, and that's our job first and foremost, to get them up there. Now you're thinking, all of a sudden someone gets called up, and you're like, all right, well, who's going to play first line left wing, or who's going to be at the net front for the power play? And it gives somebody else an opportunity to step up and do something. But yeah, I mean, you'd love to have the best players on your team stay there, but that's just selfish given our profession and what we're supposed to do. So whether somebody goes up for one game or is up and you never see him, it's always a good feeling like, hey, this guy's going to play in the NHL. Like that's every kid dreams of that. So you're excited for him. You want him to go do well and just really try to enjoy it, which I don't know if guys always do because sometimes they're so nervous that first one. So that's why sometimes you'll go up to play a few and then they'll have to come down. And then the next time they go up, they're a little bit more relaxed and they know what they're going to deal with. And then they really take off on that second opportunity. So, but I'm always happy for the guys. It's a special day when someone gets a call up, especially that first one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, the over the years, when your role as an assistant coach, it seems like there's a bad cop, good cop when it comes to coaching staff. The head coach sometimes is mostly the bad cop, and the assistant coach is the good cop. Now, as you're moving into the role as head coach, how are your relationships with your players change?
Yeah, I've been asked this question before, and I've thought about it quite a bit in a sense that I'm not really going to deal with anybody that differently. Now, I know it's going to be different because as an assistant coach, when I go to a player and say, hey, you're not in tonight, you're a healthy scratch and X, Y, Z, well, I told them, but they kind of know who made the decision. So in this case, they know I'm making the decision. Maybe they're going to be upset at me, but if I have good reasons and I want those open lines of communication because guys need to know why they're in and why they're not, why they're playing or why they're not. So I think, since I've dealt with the D all the time, I've always had a real close relationship with all my D. And now I just get to do that with the forward. So it might be taking a little bit more time to make sure that I get everybody on the team as opposed to dealing with 8, 9D. But I don't really see a good cop, bad cop. I'm just going to be who I am and try to be as honest. Well, not try, but I'll be as honest as I can with them. That's what I think these guys respect. You work hard. You prepare for them. You give them all the information they need. You're honest with them, and then they can do their job. And they can't do that with false information. So whether they think I'm a good cop or a bad cop, either way, they're gonna get my honest opinion.
Yeah, and you see that throughout all of sports. So you hear it all the time that players respect a coach who is honest with them. If you're honest with them, they can handle anything.
Yeah, it's not always easy to do. I'm not going to say that it's easy to just go up to someone and say, this is why you're not playing tonight, and this is why. It's because that for the most part they're working their hardest, or at least they think they are, to give themselves opportunities to be in the lineup every single night. So then if you hit them between the eyes with something, and not even in the not in an aggressive manner or anything like that, but just kind of factual and say, this is what we're seeing and this is why we're making a decision. You could see sometimes that, of course, they're not happy because they're not getting to do the thing they want to do and they thought they were giving their all. But a lot of times you get a quick turnaround from that.
And sorry, I don't mean to monopolize the questioning, but I've always wondered how, being a head coach, you basically have to be a psychologist in a sense, because some players need a kick in the ass and some players need a pat on the back. And how hard is it to assess that? Or do you know your team so well already that you have a pretty good feel of who needs to be pushed and who needs to be sort of talked nicely to, if you will?
Yeah, I would say I have a pretty good feel for our team overall, just because I've been around most of these players for a couple of years, or at least a year in most cases. We will have some new players, and it's a little bit, one of the nice things is we've got a great scouting staff, a great development staff, and they can give us some insight into what these players, what makes them tick, how they're going to be successful, what they see as a future for them as an NHL player, how to lead them in the right direction. So we get that information through conversation with management and development and scouts. And then it's trying to figure out, how to use it best, and developing a relationship with those players and seeing, all right, is this a guy, like you said, does he need a little more prodding? Can I just sit back? Is it all positive with this one?
Right.
But you are doing a lot of the figuring out of personalities, because that's a big part of the game. There's a lot of personalities in that locker room.
Now, before I let you go, I have to ask you, your time in the USA, developmental team when you played, there was I believe a 16-year-old Ricky Viecher on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's a bit of a character. How was he the 16-year-old?
He was a character then. No different. I know I played with Ricky probably I think starting when I was like 13 or something, some select teams out of Boston, and yeah, he's always been a joker and a fun, a lot of personality, fun guy to be around. Played with him on a World Junior team as well, so yeah, he is a character, and I don't think a whole lot's changed between 16 and however the hell old we are now, 39 or something like that. But he still makes me laugh even when I see him on TV, and he's a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. But
hey, one more before we go, since you guys
Sure.
are based in Scranton. This is not really a question; it's more of a request. Can you guys do like an office theme night? Maybe some office themed jerseys, maybe a sponsorship, or with Vance refrigeration. Can we do something with that?
I would love that. Our goalie Casey DeSmith had a helmet. I don't know if you remember, he had a helmet that was all office themed a couple of years ago. Not this year, but maybe it was 2 years ago. It was great bucket. It was hilarious. And then we've gone to Scranton to see office landmarks. Poor Richards and all that. My wife and I are big fans, and my kids love the show now too. So they did one night here a while ago. I don't know who they had. Probably like Creed. And someone else. But I like it. I think the jersey is a good idea. Got to have something like a shoot farm. Yeah, or like
they could look like the warehouse jerseys. They could look like the warehouse almost.
Yeah.
That would be great. I'll throw that one out there.
Yeah, cool. But JD, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations, and best of luck when the season does start.
Okay, thanks, guys. Maybe we'll see you when we're in Bridgeport.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Thanks, JD.
Yeah.
All right.
Take care. All right, cool.
That's cool. That was Mike. Really good. Getting a coach's perspective and on how the transition from assistant coach to head coach, and then also dealing with all the extenuating circumstances that we're dealing with now in 2020.
Absolutely, but
I've always wondered, like he said, he gets the report from the front office and the head honchos, but you've got to be a psychologist. Some guys just do not like being yelled at, and some guys need that. They use it as fuel. So, and
they've probably been one of the probably top 3 or 4 most successful AHL franchises the past 25 years.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Before we get to Sean, we got a little bit of breaking news. Braden is on the ice for warm-ups.
What does that mean?
On the ice for warm-ups.
All right, great.
But even more breaking news: both Noah Dobson and Michael Del Colo are on the ice for warm-ups for the Islanders.
What does that mean?
That means they're warming up.
Okay, well, give me. You just basically told me nothing. Yay, they're on the ice. Are they playing? Come on.
Right?
It's still a game time decision, but they're dressed and they're stretching out right now.
Yeah.
Is there like a paywall that I have to pay to get that more information?
If you were on time, you would have,
You would have gotten the
all right.
I'm sorry. I was trying not to get maced by the police.
Excuses, both. Bring in Sean. How's it going?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Now the Stars obviously clinched on Monday. Are they hoping that the Eastern Conference ends tonight? If it doesn't end tonight, Stars aren't playing probably till Tuesday, and it's over a week break.
Yeah. It's kind of an interest. Obviously, you never want to pick your opponent, and you never want to do that. But I think for Dallas, the sweet spot would be to start to get going again on Saturday, basically after. If Tampa were to win tonight, because the Stars they really needed that win by the Islanders the other night. They'd played 21 games in 42 days, really, really beat up. Radek Faksa, we have no idea whether he's going to come back. The Stars are, and it's this time of year where everyone's dealing with injuries and ailments, and really for a really beat up team, just getting those extra days by the Eastern Conference Final going a couple more days was huge. And I do think, though, from a Stars perspective, they would enjoy being able to get back into the rhythm to kind of, I think that would be the sweet spot for them. Couple days off, couple days to heal up, but not too far away, and not too much time just spent with idle hands in the bubble, because there's really not much to do there. I mean, they're trying their best, but really, it's a bubble.
There's only so much Call of Duty you can play, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I worked with Barry Melrose, and he said that Edmonton isn't the end of the world, but you can see it from there.
Yeah.
So there's only so much trouble you can get in there.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the other thing too. It's not as much trouble. It's just kind of finding ways to. I mean, you can go to practice so often. Like the Stars are trying to do their best to keep things light, and like they went to the golf course the other day. Today they're doing kind of a team. The team was able to book out, like, I don't know the name of the restaurant, but there's some restaurant in Edmonton that they were able to book out that's like a Dave and Buster's equivalent or whatever, where they could take the guys there and there's no one else in the restaurant. They were able to book that out and get out of the bubble for a little bit as a group. But there's only so many things you can do like that. And on top of that, you add into kind of the frustration that a lot of these players are dealing with right now, where everyone thought when we're going to go into their bubble, okay, well, at some point family members will be able to come in. And right now there is literally one family member, there are literally two family members in the entire bubble, and a couple are supposed to be able to come in. But in general, there's that frustration of it's longer and longer away from their families. And so they really want to get going for this final. And it's no disrespect to the Islanders. It's just the Stars would love to get started this weekend.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Islanders, no Adam Pelican warm-ups. So,
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's a big deal. That's why you're seeing both Boychuk and Noah Dobson. So it's
Hold on, before we continue, let me just shit. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now moving back to
the Pelican play.
Okay. Wow. All right. So back to the Stars. Now that I'm a little rattled. A lot, like we've talked about the Stars all season, and if you're on Athletic, you got to check out Sean's writing. He does a fantastic job covering this team. It seems like at times this year that the Islanders and Dallas were very similar. Defense first, very strong structurally, good goaltending. But it seems as the playoffs has gone along, the veteran stars of the Stars have really elevated their game. Ben, Pavelski, and Seguin, and you also have a blend of the young players also playing great too. What's been the key to success for this team to make this kind of run?
I think there's two key factors for the Stars in this. One is I think the stoppage helped the Stars more than any other team. I think the combination of this team, we talked about Pavelski right there. So Pavelski is someone who I don't think he was ever truly healthy coming into this past season. He had the long run the summer before, the season before with San Jose, had a shorter off season. And so the Stars never got that best version of Joe Pavelski. Joe Pavelski finally got a true off season, really, between the end of the regular season and the playoffs. Jamie Benn can't play that style 82 games a year anymore. It's just not possible. There's too much wear and tear. And so you got a fresh version of Jamie Benn without the wear and tear that typically comes from a regular season for Jamie. So those are two time off bubble setups that were benefited Dallas greatly. The other thing is Stars coach interim coach Rick Bowness, who probably will be the head coach now. He was able to actually adjust the system. He was living when he took over. It was kind of catching on to a roller coaster and trying to keep things as even as possible, and had to keep running Jim Montgomery's system. And he was able to take that break and have another training camp and create a little bit more of an offensive approach for the Stars, where we're seeing way more. The biggest thing for the Stars now than compared to the regular season is it's a full green light for the defensemen. And during the regular season, Miro Heiskanen and John Klingberg had the green light to jump into the play. But the rest of the defensemen maybe had a yellow light, if anything. Now we're seeing Andrei Sekera, Jamie Alexiak, all of those guys, Esa Lindell, they all have the green light to jump in offensively and jump into the play. Heiskanen and Klingberg still are their best offensive players, but you look back and Game 7 overtime winner, obviously Yoel Kiviranta is the stunning surprise goal scorer, but a lot of people forget Andrei Sekera is, of all people, is below the goal line and sets up the game-winning goal. Jamie Alexiak gets loose for a breakaway in the Vegas series. So Rick Bowness was able to kind of say, okay, we're still going to be our strong defensive identity, but we're going to allow our defensemen to jump in and contribute more. And they preached that from day one of the second training camp back in July. The defensemen really bought in, and that's opened. I think it's just opened up a little bit more space for everyone. And on top of that, a healthy Ben, a healthy Pavelski, those are factors that really, this time off, it allowed the Stars to be a much better team than they were at the stoppage.
Also, we have to, of course, talk about the play of Anton Hudobin.
Yes.
He's never really had the reins as a starting goalie, but now it seems like he's really just taken it, and just the relationship he has with the team itself. It just the way he's been embraced in the locker room. Can you talk a little about the emergence of him, because he's just downright unbeatable at times, and he outplayed Robin Lehner, who was amazing for Vegas. So it's very interesting to see his development and where he is now.
Yeah, I think there's two main things to remember about Anton Hudobin for me. One is that he led the NHL in save percentage this year with a 930 save percentage during the regular season. So for him having this success in the playoffs is more of a surprise of the role than the actual success, because 930 save percentage in 30 something games. He's at 20, I think he's at 18 or 19 games played now. So him having this success shouldn't be as much of a surprise based off the regular season, but you don't know what it's like for a guy to be the number one guy, until he gets thrust into that role. It's easier to have those numbers. It's easier to have that spot when he's a 1B and Ben Bishop is really the guy, and you get a lot of time between starts and things like that. So for him to take this role and be the exact same person and embrace it the way he has, that's what's the most impressive thing, where he hasn't ever once worried about, well, I'm in a starter's role and I've never been in there. It's funny, he gets asked that quite a bit now during whenever he's available in those Zoom calls and everything, and it's always someone who is, especially now as you get this deep in the playoffs and more people parachute in to cover the team, you get way more people asking like, oh, is he surprised? And Anton is like, no, it's just stopping the puck. The other thing that the Stars, and take no credit away from Anton Hudobin, but one of the things the Stars do, and it's one of the reasons that Anton did lead the league in save percentage and Ben Bishop was top 6 or 7 in the save percentage, the Stars system, if you're a goalie, you love playing in the Stars defensive system. The Stars are a team where even on nights where they get outshot, like they did throughout the Vegas series, you look at the shot location. It's from the outside. It's from the point. The Stars don't allow anyone to get to the front of the net. They take away those high danger areas. And as a goaltender, you do get a lot of quantity, but the quality is really limited. And like you look at that series, and that to me is an area where Anton Hudobin really thrives, because the number and the shot count keeps going up, and Vegas just kept getting more and more frustrated as that number went up. And I think Anton just climbed into their heads too, and it probably started beating them even before they were shooting.
Yeah, so Sean, thanks so much for your time tonight. Really appreciate it. Check out his work on The Athletic. Follow him on Twitter at Sean Shapiro. We'll talk to you down the road. Hopefully we'll have a game 1 on Tuesday, not Saturday.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Okay,
thanks, Sean.
Good luck.
All right, so the Stars, a little bit of a,
even though they have Corey Perry on their team, he seems like a nice guy. So whatever.
Yeah, Blake Como, former Islander and stuff like that. But yeah, the news of Adam Pelech.
That's devastating for you guys.
Nothing on Braden Point yet, right?
He's like I said before, he's taking warm-ups. So
if he's taking warm-ups, I think he's going to
play. Exactly. So it's twofold for the Islanders to make.
And there's no word on what Point's injury is. Is it lower or upper?
It's yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
I think it was. I think it's a shoulder. If you look at the way he was, yeah.
I really hope down the road that the league kind of discloses the injuries. It would be helpful.
Right, because the players all know. The players can figure out what's wrong with you.
Exactly.
For the most part, yeah, they probably do. You're right.
Right.
Yeah. But Noah Dobson, first, career playoff game. No pressure.
How nervous do you think he is right now?
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, his speed and I can't imagine playing too much. But the thing is, they're going to go 7 defensemen.
Right. That's where it'll help him ease him in.
He's gonna get the overtime winner.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope this is another 8-2 game. But
all right, you guys ready for some trivia?
Let's do it, bro.
Hold on, that's good.
Bruh. God, I'm so glad I'm not a real Islanders fan, because my heart right now would be exploding out of my chest.
In the words of Stephen A. Smith, I am having a very, very bad day.
This is awesome.
Okay. All right. So the trivia today is very simple. Norris Trophy winners. And that the award goes back to 1953, and it is awarded for the best defenseman in the league each year. So Who are the Norris Trophy winners, past and present?
I don't know.
Thank God it doesn't go back to like 1920 because that.
I know it's good. It's good that the sport doesn't go back that far. And some guys have won it so many times that there are actually that many winners here.
That's what I was gonna say. I get who won last time? Did I win? I don't.
Yes, you did.
You won
You
last.
did.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You get to go first.
All right. Nick Lidstrom.
Yeah, he won a few times. Yeah, he won 7 times.
And I would assume Bobby Orr won a few times.
Yes, he also won it a few times. Yes, I believe he won 7 years in a row. He won 8 years in a row.
8 years in a row.
And then he retired. Yep.
Well, original 6 though. But
Yeah. Dennis Potvin.
Yes, he won it. Yep.
Could use him tonight.
They could.
Rob Blake.
Rob Blake.
Definitely.
Yes, he won once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Last year's winner, Mark Giordano.
Yes.
And the year before was Victor Hedman.
Correct.
Brett Burns.
Yeah, someone who had no business winning yet. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Was it Drew Doughty before him?
Yep.
Before him? Yeah. That was the year Kopitar also won the Selke. That was a good year for the Kings, even though he didn't make the playoffs.
I don't know if this is in order or not, but Duncan Keith.
It's not, but yes, he won one.
I think he should not have won. PK Subban?
Yep, he won one.
Eric Carlson.
Eric Carlson has 2.
That's 2. You said Duncan Keith. How about Jesus. Calm down. Think of teams.
Relax.
Scott Niedermayer.
Yes.
Jesus, I got nervous.
He only won 1.
Yeah.
Only 1?
Yeah. But Lidstrom was winning them all then.
Yeah, that's right.
Scott Stevens.
Scott Stevens. Scott Stevens never won one.
Wow.
Because remember, Lidstrom won 6. Lidstrom won 7 in 10 years.
That was the era, right?
Yeah, the only one who won over him was because you had Pronger won 1 year and Niedermayer won 1 year. Other than that, it was Lidstrom. Wow, no, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I figured
that was quick.
And yeah, all right.
All right, so noticeable ones that you guys missed: Chris Pronger, Al McInnes, Chris Chelios, Ray Bork,
About
Paul Coffey, Larry Robinson.
Yeah. How about Brian?
Brian Leach won 2. Also, Doug Harvey won 7 of them.
He's the only old timer that I knew because I heard it on the radio one day. He won like 7, right?
He won 7, yeah.
Yeah.
He also won the first 4 too.
The first 4 ever?
Yeah.
How about
there you go. That was quick. Char won 1. Yep,
Yeah.
he won 1.
So Michelle says in the chat, Michael's on a roll. Last 2 trivia wins.
He is on a roll. Yes. Yep.
Break him up. Yeah, break him up.
All right. Do we have any cards here to take us off the air with?
We got some cards. All right, here we go. So I have a couple sets here. Let me press the right button here. Okay. So here we go.
Was that like a
Okay.
There we go.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Wendell Clark, if I see him, I'm running away with a shitting grin. That's just awful right there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's
Pretty
hilarious.
bad. Sylvain,
Sylvain, yes.
This is like a bachelor, date or some kind of cult. It's just very weird.
What the hell?
Firewalking.
Brian Leach looks like he's a 12-year-old. Just
Yeah, but at least he's in front of a locker room. It's like it's his locker.
This one's my favorite. Neil Wilkinson looks like he's
my god.
jazz cover, channeling his like energy. But
like a cross between,
I had to throw this last one in here for you. Actually, did I put it in again? I don't think I did. I'll spare you the pain here. Okay, but here we go. One more set here.
That's not real.
Yeah, those are real. Yeah, you can take them apart and make like a little bobblehead out of them.
That's hilarious.
Like I got the set. Here's the side before, and here's the after set.
Yep,
That's awesome.
you can turn it into like a little bobblehead. I remember those.
On the card, it was a little trivia. So it was when he played with 3 Hart Trophy winners, and you have to open up the head to find the answers.
Oh, that's cool. That's fun for kids.
Yeah. So we got time for a couple more, right?
Sure,
Yeah.
a couple more.
Here we go. More from the Muppets.
What?
Yes.
So you got goalie here. That's going to be Varlamov tonight.
Whoa.
Miss Piggy, a little,
That's a little racy. I like it.
Yeah, a little racy.
racy, and Adam. So yeah, that's great. It's like got
awesome.
more of those. We'll get more cards in. Anyone have suggestions for cards? Hit us up. Yeah, like breaking news: Adam Pelech won't play. Hopefully, this isn't the end of the Islanders tonight. And
Next man up. Let's go.
Next man up, exactly. So we'll see. Looks like Braden Point's going to be in there. But everyone, enjoy the game, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week, hopefully.
Hopefully, Dan will make it on time.
Go Isles.